Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Katelyn, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different from my usual art videos. So I have a lot of different people ask me about different tools I use, and I've actually been asked a couple of times about all the books that I have on my bookshelf. So I thought today I would go over my top 5 favorite art books that I have ever owned amongst this entire shelf. So these ones are going to be more drawing and anatomy books, not like the art of books, but it's more pose references or animal anatomy and different things that helped me grow as an artist. So let's go ahead and jump into the first book. So this one I'm gonna just kind of clump them together. This one is actually 3 books, but they're all kind of from the same series, and I find them all equally as helpful. So the first few books that I found really helpful for me are the Shoujo fashion books. So I know that not all of you draw manga, but just hear me out. I find these books extremely helpful for any type of art you draw. Specifically, each and every book kind of breaks down how to draw clothing on characters, and it can also kind of prompt some ideas in your head for drawing characters. It breaks down how different types of folds in clothing work. For example, if you have a heavy jacket versus a light t-shirt, kind of what the difference in the folding and look would be. And it really helps you broaden and expand your horizons on how clothing can fit and set on the body. Along with it kind of stimulates some different ideas of like, maybe today I won't draw my character in a t-shirt, today I'm gonna draw them in a really cool like sweater vest jacket thing. So I highly recommend these books. There's more in the series than just this. I think they also have a sci-fi fantasy version, but I would really recommend checking these out, especially if you're struggling with clothing or clothing design. Next up on the list is a little bit more of an unconventional book that might be a little bit harder for you guys to find. This book is a little bit harder to find through normal means like Amazon, and I don't think he sells it on his website, but if you Google the title of this book and the author, you can find it on multiple different sites that you can buy it from. And that book is The Dynamic Bible by Peter Hahn. This guy I've been following forever, and I actually met him at CTN Expo where I bought the book directly from him. And this is a really helpful book because it really breaks down some of the nitty-gritty things that a couple of my art books don't. And it has a lot of really interesting insight when it comes to drawing animals, vehicles, trees, plants. It has so much in here. But one thing to keep in mind is this is a much more general book. This book contains a lot of more, quick facts to drawing. I'd recommend this more for experienced artists, but it does not hurt if you're a beginner as well. It's just some of these concepts might be a little bit harder to grasp if you're only a beginner. But it is one of my favorite books for sure. It has a lot of gorgeous ink and watercolor drawings, and he does such a great job of breaking down his process and thought process behind all of his drawings. So he shows kind of the movement and the flow of the body and how different animals contort and form with their shape. And in some diagrams, really showing how the bone structure works underneath the creature. And even along with all of his drawing explanations, he has a lot of well-written insight into how to draw these different things, and I find it extremely helpful. So for me, I really love this book, and I actually got, when I bought it from him in person, the Compact Dynamic Bible, which has a couple of different examples that aren't in the main one. So if you're able to pick up both, I like them, but if you can't afford to get both of them, I would recommend for sure getting the main Dynamic Bible. So the next book is one of the most crucial books I have ever owned, especially in terms of animal anatomy. I met this guy back at, I think it was San Diego Comic-Con years ago, and I bought this book from him, and it has been the most helpful thing I have ever owned. So if you are struggling with animal anatomy and feel that you need some type of guidebook to help you progress, I would really recommend The Weatherly Guide to Drawing Animals. This is by Joe Weatherly, and I think he has a version of this available on Amazon. It might be his newer version, but this book is amazingly helpful. In the book, he has a combination of gesture drawings and showing kind of the movement of how animals move in everything from walking to pouncing to running, and he really shows you how different animals move. He also helps break down the correct anatomy for different creatures and animals, along with bone structures, and really helps you understand like how the feet look like on a dog compared to a horse, or like the different body structures of so many diverse and different animals. The way he breaks things down and how he dissects the animal into the different muscle groups and shapes can really help you improve your illustration work, along with helping you understand how the creature actually moves and flows based off of its shapes and structure. So again, I thoroughly recommend this book. This has been one of my favorites when learning animal anatomy, and it really helped me grow substantially. So the fourth book in this top 5 I find extremely helpful when it comes to human anatomy and posing. And that book is Anatomy in Action by Masters of Anatomy. This one specifically is by Raul Moreno, and he has so many different and amazing poses in here. Whenever I get stuck and can't think of a pose to put my character into, I always go to this book. Especially when it's a really difficult and hard pose that I haven't tried before, this book helps so much. While this isn't really a full substitute for if you're starting on anatomy and trying to learn the human figure, this is a really good starting point. It shows you a lot of different diverse poses and body forms and postures, and it can really help you get an idea of how the body folds and moves and looks in different action poses. Along with that, he has a combination of gesture poses and more complete poses, which you can kind of mix and match to create your own pose. So if you like the top half of one character, you can easily swap it out with the bottom half of another pose. And it helps you practice a lot of different diverse poses and keeps your artwork fresh. I also really like that in this book, for each pose, he kind of explores different angles of that same pose. So if you do like a particular pose, but it doesn't really match the angle that you're going for, you can easily look and see if there's another sketch of the exact same pose. That also helps you learn perspective in different dynamic camera angles and can really expand your horizon in terms of character posing. So I really recommend this book if you've been struggling with figuring out how to give your characters different and interesting poses. This really helps a lot. And I think I only have book 2. I don't even have book 1. And I recently did the Kickstarter for the all-female book of this, and I am really excited to get that one as well. And now finally, for the 5th book in the series, I kind of did another combo because these are both very similar types of books, but I find them both equally as helpful. And those two are the Character Design Masterclass and the 21 Draw book. So basically, both of these books are different character design books. So in these different books, artists are given prompts to design characters off of, so it can kind of help you see the diverse and different ways that artists create characters. So for example, in the 21 Draw book, there are multiple different types of characters that are designed, but each type of character is designed by a different artist. So you can see such a diverse amount of work and looks, and it's really cool to see how people interpret their one-word prompts. And then in the Character Design Masterclass, I think this one is a little bit more interesting of the two because every single artist in this book was given the exact same prompt. All the different artists were given the task of designing characters from Robin Hood. So each of them have the same cast of characters, but they are all designed so differently and so uniquely. I really find this one super helpful because you can really see the diversity in how people draw their characters along with how they design them. Some of them go for a much more historical look that looks very accurate for the time that Robin Hood would have been around, and others push it a little bit more with trying something different. And then with each style, different characters are given different personalities and looks overall. So in one scenario, Robin Hood might be this young, cute, adorable little kid, and then in the next scenario, he's just this really bandaged up brute. It's just really cool to see how different a character can be just based on how they're drawn. So I would really recommend both of these books if you're wanting to get into character design and kind of want to see all the different diverse styles and different ways people design characters and in some of these creatures. And that is it for my top 5 how to draw books. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. I hope you guys find these books helpful. I know it technically was also more than 5 books, but I felt they are all equally pretty important. If you would like an easy way to find all of them, I have made a special folder on my Kit site, which I'll have a link down in the description below, where you can click on the different books that you want to check out. Some of them will be available on Amazon and others will be available on maybe the artist's site. But either way, I'm going to try to find the links for all these books for you guys and put them on my kit. So if you guys like supporting me, I actually will get a small portion of all the purchases done through Amazon. So if any of the books you want to purchase are on Amazon and you go through my kit and click, you'll be directly supporting me while purchasing your book. So thanks again guys so much for stopping by and checking out this video. And if you have a favorite art book or a how to draw book, I would love to hear what yours is. So if you could leave it down in the comments below, that would be awesome. And if you want to see another like tools or book video from me, please leave a thumbs up down below so that I know that you guys like these type of videos. So thanks again guys for stopping by, and I'll see you all next time. Bye everybody.